consumed by the circumstances and what I've become. Only thinking about my problems, that I'm always on the run. I'm tired, I'm lonely, gotta find a better way. I am calling on you, Jesus, I'll do whatever you say. Keep it moving, oh yeah. Leave the past behind and leave the shame alone. Move it, yeah. Move along, forget about the sorrow. No more sorrow. Leave the shame alone. Leave the shame alone. Leave it alone. Think about God. Think about tomorrow. 'Cause Jesus is the cornerstone. He's the cornerstone. Move it. Gotta keep on moving, moving. Moving. Gotta keep on moving. I finally got the message. I wasted a lot of time. I moved on. These chains had me all in a bind. I'm thankful for freedom. I'm grateful to my God who loved me and saved me from the chancellor Leave the past behind. Everything will be just fine. Move it, oh, keep it moving. Move. Peace from every shame. God is making plain. Come on out of the rain and live with me again. Oh, right in the middle of a challenge. Leave the past behind. Gotta move on past the past. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep it moving. Say you wasted a little time, but he's all on your mind. Gotta keep it moving. Don't ever stop moving. Gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving. Right in the middle of a challenge, feeling sorry for yourself. Worrying can't seem to put it on a shelf. Can't find the answer, can't put the past behind. Dwelling on it, can't get this guilt. Gotta keep on moving, moving, moving. Gotta keep on moving. I finally got the message. I wasted a lot of time. I moved on from these chains, had me all in a bind. I'm thankful for freedom. I'm grateful to my God who loved me and saved me from the chancellor Leave the past behind. Everything will be just fine. Move it, oh, keep it moving. Move. answer. Can't put the past behind. My God has made it plain. Come on out of the rain and live with me again. Oh, I leave the past behind. But I'm going past the past. Keep on. Consumed by the circumstances and what I become. Only thinking about my problems. Said I'm always on the run. I'm tired, I'm lonely. Gotta find a better way. I am calling on you, Jesus. I'll do whatever you say. Keep it moving. Oh, yeah. Leave the past behind and leave the shame alone. Moving. Keep it moving. Move along. Forget about the sorrow. No more suffering. Leave the shame alone. Leave the shame alone. Leave it alone. Think about God. Think about tomorrow. 'Cause Jesus is the cornerstone. He's the cornerstone. Moving. Gotta keep on moving. 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 Gotta keep on moving. Yeah. I finally got the message. I wasted a lot of time. I moved on from these things and be all in a bind. I'm thankful for freedom. I'm grateful to my God who loved me and saved me from the traps of anger. Leave the past behind. Everything will be just fine. Oh, moving. always on your mind. Gotta keep it moving, moving. Keep on moving. Don't ever stop moving. Gotta keep it moving, keep it moving.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday here at Birmingham Bible Church. Listen, thank you so much for joining us here today. Thank you for watching us. We just love it when you watch. We love it when you share. We love it when you comment. We love it when you listen. I just love it when you text me and say, Pam, girl, that was a good one today. We love all of it. So thank you for joining us and thank you for supporting us here for our Win Wednesday. Just thank you for enrolling with us. You do it all week long. So thank you so much for that. For those of you who are new and you wonder what is Wednesday, and so we do this because we want to, all of us are being educated on various things. We want you to know something that you did not know before. We want you to be inspired. We want you to share this knowledge of us. And so that's why we are here on this forum. We have started a brand new year. It is January of 2023. And so we have some great topics lined up for this. We have some wonderful speakers. And so I know you're going to enjoy on what we need to do to be physically fit. And so I welcome all of you. Make sure you are sharing the broadcast. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit the share button. If you're watching on YouTube, just however, if you want to text somebody the flyer, but has all the great information on people can watch. And so without further ado, of course, I am bringing you now Miss Pam Sigmon. Hello, Pam. How are you?
I am really good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you fine. I need to turn up my volume, make sure you can hear me too.
I can. I'm just having a little technical delay. So I don't know if it's on my end or yours, but I can hear you just fine now.
Awesome, great. That's awesome. Well, we are going to get into our discussion, but before we do, please let all of our guests know just a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we can take it from there.
Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate this opportunity, and I am always on the lookout to help people. That is really the heart of everything I do. I am a wife, I am a mother, and in the last 17 years, I've been a fitness instructor, which is why I'm here today. So my actual study in college was music. So I have a music education degree, taught school. And then when I had children, I wanted to be home with them. So that is what I've done for all these years. But when I was 42, thinking I'll go back to teaching now, I found out I was pregnant. And we were blessed with a third child. I had a 14-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old son, and a brand new baby. So I knew I was not going back into the workforce. I wanted to be an at-home mom. that is what I did. So I had always wanted to be a fitness instructor, had been very intimidated because I don't have what you would call the genetic physique of a fitness instructor. But I thought I'm never going to at this point, and if I'm going to teach fitness, it's now or never. So that is how I got started into fitness. I have been married. Honestly, I have to do the math. So this year will be 38 years. And I do have a daughter, son-in-law, son, daughter-in-law, then I have a son, a 4.5-year-old granddaughter, and an almost 2-year-old grandson. Did I lose you? So I am not sure, because I don't see Pamela now, and I'm not sure if I lost her or you lost me. How about I just keep talking just in case that we still are streaming. That is a little bit about me. And so what I want to do today is talk about fitness. Let me see if, just check. Okay, yeah. She told me just to keep talking, so here I am. So the technical issues are on her end, and I'm just going to keep moving forward. And whether she pops in or out, we'll just keep moving ahead. She had contacted me originally about speaking about fitness. And it is very important to me. I don't want to make you think that I am perfect, because none of us is perfect. But there are some things that I have learned along the way. I personally am very motivated as a believer in Christ. What is God up to? I was so excited to see in the scroll of things coming to your church, the recommended book, Experiencing God, because I discovered that book many years ago. And my biggest takeaway, I still tell, this is probably 25 years ago, I still tell people, here's my biggest takeaway: find where God's already moving and go with him, instead of coming to him with this long checklist of all the things. Here's what you need to do for me, God. And that book truly did transform my life. So even in my pursuit of fitness, my question was, where's God moving? And I had a desire to teach fitness. So I followed. I had to step out and find out, but I followed his path. And so I just began where I was. I got my first certification in group exercise, because that's the experience that I had, the experience that I loved. Going to classes, I did not enjoy working out on machines and picking up weights and that kind of stuff, running. I didn't enjoy that, but I did enjoy group exercise classes. From there, I was asked to teach water class. I began to teach water class. It was I'm just telling you, it was very outside my comfort zone. Teaching water aerobics is now probably one of my favorite things to do. About 15 years ago, well, I think it's more like 13 years ago, I got certified in Zumba. And I'm going to tell you again, it was very much outside of my comfort zone. I tell people all the time I'm a dancer wannabe. I was never trained in dancing. I just love to move. So those are my 3 certifications. I'm currently teaching a weightlifting class that I really, really enjoy as well. So that is a little bit about me. But what I just wanted you to know that I am very driven by the lead of God. So no matter if I'm setting out on a journey of fitness, nutrition, a new job, a new endeavor, a new goal, anything, I'm always asking, where is God already moving? Because I know that, like John 15:5 says, that apart from me, you can do nothing. But Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So if I can know from the get-go that the reason I'm doing this is because I'm following God's leading, there's just something about feeling empowered and enabled. Hey, y'all, I ran across a Facebook post that's just kind of cute and fun. This is my 18-year-old. He's a senior in high school. he had this little conversation with me when he was 5 years old. He said, Mom, which do you love more, exercise or me? And that's why I love you more, Jeremy. He said, well, you sure do exercise. Why do you exercise so much? And I said, well, Jeremy, I was an older mommy when I had you, and it's important to stay healthy and fit to take care of you. I'll probably be a grandmother when you graduate from high school, which, by the way, I am.
Right.
We paused, and he said, how old will you be when I get a lady? So we still don't know the answer to that question. But I will tell you, in all honesty, that was my big motivation. So we are going to take a look at what is it to be fit. What does that even mean? So let's take a look at slide number 2. And Pamela's going to share that screen with you so you can just kind of follow along. Feel free to write down anything that you want to know. But in our second screen, I just simply define physical fitness. So let's go take a look at the next one, Pamela. So according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, fit means sound physically and mentally. It means to be healthy. And the definition of health is that it's beneficial to one's physical, mental, or emotional state. It is conducive to or associated with good health or reduced risk of disease. There are several things in there I want to emphasize. Fitness is not just physical. It is also mental, and it's also emotional. But there is also an aspect in the latter part of the definition in health, reducing risk of disease. And that's really at the heart of what I'm trying to accomplish and that I'm trying to help other people accomplish. Physically fit, emotionally fit, mentally fit. Now, Miriam's doesn't say it. It is my heart to see people spiritually fit as well. And we're on this path to reduce the risk of disease. If you take a look at the Aqua manual, they adjust my screen here a little bit so I can read that definition. It's physical fitness is the ability of the body's physical parts to function. You got any parts that you're thinking that's not really functioning very well? And the way we measure it is by the level at which the physical parts are capable of functioning. So let's take a look at that next screen. I shared with you the reason why I started. It had to do with having a baby when I was 42 and knowing I would be 60 when he graduated from high school. So the first thing I really challenge you to do is find your why. Write down why you want to be physically fit. Our pastor says, if you lose your why, you lose your way. So it's being grounded in why did I start this? So that when I grow tired or when I don't feel like it, or I just want to quit, whatever the excuse, we're grounded by why did I start? There's another quote I like to put on Facebook sometime to remind people, remember the why. I recently heard another good saying. It says, this could either be one day or this could be day one. We get to choose. Are we just dreaming for the day, or is today the day? So I'm hoping for you, today is the day you write down your why. All right, let's take a look at the next screen, because we're not just wanting to figure out the why, we've got to know how. And this is where it starts to get a little, you got lots of options. I'm hoping I can help you with that, but I want to start with an analogy. If you were to say, how do I get to UAB hospital? I could say, oh, no worries. It's downtown Birmingham, just get off I-65 on 8th Street and you'll see it. That's great. except for one thing. I didn't really tell you, you get on 65, you drive to 8th Street, you're sitting on the ramp, and you don't know if you're going right or left. And the only way that you're going to know if you're supposed to go right or left, the only way I could begin to tell you whether you go right or left is to say to you, where are you coming from? Where are you now? You know those little maps that say, you are here. I love those maps because they're very complicated. I don't know. But when I see the little sticker that says you are here, I'm like, okay, I got this. So that's where we're going to start. Where are you? Let's take a look at the next screen. When we start talking about fitness in general, we are talking about exercise and movement. So we're going to take a look at some can we get to that screen? And I'm going to see if I can. That's it. We're going to break down the 5 components of physical fitness. So number 1, there's cardiorespiratory endurance, which basically has to do with the heart and the lungs, and it's their ability to work together to deliver oxygen to the muscles. When we think of cardiorespiratory endurance, we think of things like running, skiing, swimming, things that really boost that heart rate. Second component of physical fitness, muscular strength, the maximum force that can be exerted by a muscle or muscle group against resistance. So typically that resistance we think of as weightlifting, but it could be a resistance band. It could be against the floor using our own body weight, but it's just the use of muscles to do a thing that requires strength against resistance. The third component is muscular endurance. This is the difference in lifting a heavy thing or being able to exert that force repeatedly, to hold it static over a certain amount of time. And the fourth component is flexibility, the ability of limbs to move at the joints through a complete range of motion. You know, if we don't use that range of motion, we lose that range of motion. And our bodies are capable of becoming more flexible as we work at it. The flexibility is, we usually think of things like Pilates, yoga, stretching classes. And then a fifth component is not really about your exercise. It's called the body composition. That is the body's relative percentage of fat as compared to lean tissues. Our lean tissues are the bones, muscles, and organs. So, in other words, is it fat or is it lean tissue? So, in general, the higher our body fat content, the less fit we're going to be. But all of these are components of what we mean by fitness. Let's take a look at the next screen. So it's time for you to take action step number 2. Remember, number 1 was find your why. And so now let's find your how. Like, zero in on which of these 5 components is the foremost focus of your becoming healthy. Does it have to do with your ability that, as far as like your heart and your lungs, you need a stronger heart. You need more oxygen getting to the body. You need to focus on cardio. Or is it muscular? You need to get strong so that you can lift or stand or sit. Or is it muscular endurance? Do you need to improve the ability to walk 2 miles rather than 200 feet? Or fourth, do you need more flexibility so that you can touch your toes? And then, or is your foremost need to work on that body composition? So take just a moment, write down your thoughts on that. Try to look through the list and pick one. Why do I say pick one? Often we fail because we're trying to do too much too fast. So if we can develop good habits in one area, kind of work through it, determine how did we succeed? Why did we succeed? What did it take for us to be successful? We can take those same lessons and just turn them over to, okay, now I'm going to take on the second thing, using the same things I learned. But I want you to have success in at least one. All righty, let's take a look at the next slide. So you got your why you want to be physically fit. And now we're talking about your how. All righty, let's take a look at the next screen. I want to talk about that number 5, that fifth component, which was your body composition. There is an index that's called the body mass index. So just in case you haven't heard of it, it is just a mathematical formula that compares your height with your weight. It is kind of an algebraic thing. So it's much easier to just use a BMI calculator to find out what your body mass index is. This is such a good, you remember I said, if I need to give you directions to UAB, I need to find out where you are. I don't need you to say, oh, well, yeah, I live in America. I'm going to need a little more specific. And this is what this body mass index does. It helps you determine where you are. It's not anyone's opinion. It's not a low self-esteem opinion of yourself. It is a mathematical equation that helps you say where you are. And so in a moment, I'm going to talk you through how to find that out. But basically that once you determine what that number is from the calculator, there are going to be 5 categories. Underweight is under 18.5. Normal weight is 18.9 to 24.5. Overweight, obese, and morbidly obese are anything above that 25, that number 25. And of course, the morbidly obese, I just always want to highlight, morbid means it could cause your death. So there is increasing risk with overweight to obese to morbidly obese. And again, it's a great starting place. Figure out where you are, because your response is going to be different depending on what that number is. This is a great time for me to interject that when you embark on fitness for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, or maybe for the first time after you've had like some serious health changes in your world, your body, it's really important to get your doctor's input. And I would say if you are morbidly obese, it's pretty much essential that you get your doctor's input. Now, I have a feeling, yes, definitely going to want you to exercise, but you just need to know how to do that safely. Let's take a look at the next screen. It's going to tell you how you can find your BMI. The easiest thing to do is just Google BMI calculator. You enter your height, you enter your weight. It's going to give you the number that's somewhere between that, hopefully that 18 up to anything over 35. It's also going to most likely tell you that category is underweight, normal, overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. So your action step number 3. Number 1, you decided why. Number 2, you decided how. Number 3, Where are you? Calculate your BMI, but don't just get the number. Also write down the category, because there's something about writing down, I am normal. Hey, wouldn't that be great? I am underweight. I need to put on some weight. I'm overweight. I need to lose some weight. I am obese. I am morbidly obese. I need to take this serious. So I need you to write down the number and the category. All righty, let's move on to the next one. So once you've talked to your doctor, you're ready to go, and we can just take it on down. Those are your 3 action steps right there. So once you've talked to your doctor, you feel safe to move ahead with fitness. Okay, back to my UAB example. All right, Pam, I'm trying to get to UAB hospital. I've told you where I am. And now I told you told me to get off the ramp, and I know I'm supposed to go right. But now here's the problem. How far do I go? Like 1 mile or 2 miles? It's on this road. Am I going to need to turn left? So you're still going to need some guidelines to get you to the very specific place you're trying to go. So that's what exercise is. There are 5 guidelines for our exercise. You see them there on the screen. Number 1 is the mode of training. That means what type of exercise you're doing. Are you doing skiing? Are you rowing? Are you playing basketball? Those are modes of training. Number 2, the frequency of training. How often are you going to do it? Once a week, 5 times a week, 2 times a day? What is the frequency? The 3rd is the intensity. That's how hard. You're going to be taking it easy. You're going to be really intense, somewhere in the middle. Number 4 is duration. How long? Should I exercise 10 minutes? Should I exercise 30? 1 hour? 2 hours? And then the 5th is flexibility. That's just, we need to be flexible in whatever areas. We're always working on flexibility, regardless of what the other 4 are. All righty, let's take a look at the next screen. Still talking about the guidelines for exercise. So here are some examples for the mode of training. Walking, hiking, running, cycling, skiing, dancing, rope jumping. Some people like to jump ropes, climb stairs, go swimming, kickbox class, or get in a gym and punch a bag. I don't know, play tennis, go skating, lift weights, play yoga. I don't know if you have your favorite. I really hope when you look at that list, or maybe something else that came to your mind, there was something in there that just was very, oh, that sounds fun. That sounds, at least could we say, it sounds interesting. So try to pick something that accommodates your goals and your level of fitness. You're not going to start off by running a 16.1 mile marathon. So, take a bite size, but pick something that you enjoy. All right, let's take a look at the next. Some suggestions on your the specifics of the training. The frequency, I think it is. The frequency of training, the American College of Sports Medicine recommends moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise at least 5 days a week, or vigorous intensity at least 3 days per week, or blend the two. It also recommends resistance training. Remember, that's like weightlifting, 2 to 3 days per week for each major muscle group. And when I say major muscle group, I just think like upper body versus lower body. So you're thinking chest, back, biceps, triceps, shoulders, quadriceps, legs, glutes, calves. So that's what we mean by resistance training, working those muscles, those muscle groups. Now, if all of this gets really, really complicated, here's the thing. Exercise most days. So if there are 7 days in a week, how many days? It's going to be 4 at a minimum. So I would say aim for 4. If you hit 3, it's going to be great. But do notice that if you're trying to progress and you're only exercising 3 days a week, you probably do want it to be a little more vigorous. So I'm hoping those guidelines can help you, but the main thing is most days move. How about that? All right, let's take a look at the next one. This one is the intensity of your training. That's how hard you exercise. Again, you're getting started. I need you just to stay safe, be effective, listen to your body. Those are always the things I say to my first-time friends that come to my class. But be willing to progress to moderate. If you're already conditioned, you know that you can progress on to intense workout. So there are scientific ways to measure it. I mean, it's really scientific. I'll be honest with you, it's so scientific, I don't even understand it. But it is in regards to the oxygen intake, the maximal heart rate reserve, and the resting heart rate. Okay, so that's a lot of technical, but I will tell you this. If you do a movement that elevates your heart rate and then you rest, you don't necessarily come to a complete stop, but you slow down. If you just count the seconds, how long did it take my heart rate to come back to where I could carry on a normal breathing, normal conversation? The more quickly that happens, the more fit you are. And if you're like, I don't know what my resting heart rate is, it's really simple. When you first wake up in the morning, before you move at all, you just take your pulse and count for 60 seconds. So of course you're going to need some type of timing device. Count for 60 seconds, write it down, and do that 3 days. Take the average of the 3 days. That is your resting heart rate. Here is another indication of your fitness level. 60 is your goal for a healthy resting heart rate. That's not I know some of you have medications, you may even have an illness, or you may have heart conditions that change that. But I'm just speaking in general. A healthy resting heart rate is around 60. So if you're exercising, you check your heart rate and you think it's up to like 140. How quickly does it get back down to kind of normal? Not your resting rate, but your normal rate. That's the indicator of, if I can get back down under a minute to recover, it's an indication of your health. If you exert yourself, let's just say you climb a mountain and you can do it nonstop, which a lot of us can't because we're not fit enough, but eventually we can be. How long does it take you if you're saying, I got to take a break? How long of a break do you need before you start up the rest of the mountain? So your goal is really a minute or under. The point is for you to have an idea of where you're at and where you could be, where you're headed, where you're trying to get. So the intensity, how hard are you working? And the simplest way to tell it is just, what's your perceived rate of exertion? Do you think you're working moderately? Do you think you're working hard? Or do you think you're working, pretty moderate, pretty easy? Alrighty, so that's the second guideline for our exercise. Let's take a look at the next screen. This is the duration. How long? So if you want to maintain your weight, 30 minutes, 5 to 7 days a week. You want to lose weight, increase it. 50 to 60 minutes of exercise daily. And then another option is, okay, I'm going to burn 1,000 calories per week from exercise, and I'm going to aim to get 3,000 to 4,000 steps per day. So even if you're surpassing that, then of course you've got all kinds of options. You could work longer periods of time. You could work more days, that kind of thing. We know those football players, they got 2-a-days. So they're out there in the morning, back out in the afternoon. It's always an option, but just know that you're going to want to give some thought. How long? All righty, let's take a look at the next one. This is the flexibility. And this is where I'll just give you true confessions. This is my biggest weakness. 18 months ago, I had a herniated disc and ended up having surgery because of the particular nerve, the way the nerve damage was presenting. So it has been an interesting, slow recovery, but it has made me much more aware of my need to be flexible. I understand that flexibility is key to preventing injury. Flexibility helps us prevent injury. So when we are increasing our flexibility or stretching, the goal is a minimum of 10 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week. And we ideally want to hold a single stretch, 15 to 60 seconds. And what you're aiming to do is stretch to the point that it's mildly discomfort, not like hurting, and not like, well, I don't feel anything. You want to feel the mild tension, but not in a painful way. So my best advice for flexibility is, if you don't have a routine at all, you can go on YouTube and even find 10-minute stretch workouts. So if you need guidance, do it. But basically, you're aiming to just stretch every muscle. And you can start at the top, do the shoulders, chest, back, biceps, triceps. You can do, then move on down into the core. You could do some side bends. You could also do, move on down to the legs and stretch the quadriceps, the hams, the calves, that kind of thing. All right, let's move ahead. That was a lot. So let's just take a real quick look at those. Those are the 5 guidelines. The type of exercise, how often, how intense, how long, and I need a stretching plan. All right, let's take a look at it. Your next action step. We've talked about why are you doing what you're doing? How are you going to do it? And so if you look at those guidelines and you've kind of zeroed in on, yeah, this is what I need to be working on. Let me give you some real specifics here. I'm frugal. Like my husband and I, we're so frugal, we lead financial courses, and I can tell you all kinds of ways to save money. We've lived on a budget 38 years of our marriage. And by the way, if you don't know what a budget is, it is you telling your money where it's going instead of your money telling you where you're not going. Okay. Or your money telling you where it went. That's another one. So I am frugal, and I'm always trying to offer the frugal option for exercise, because we know we got lots of excuses. Let's let money be the last one. So this one is, if you're new to exercise and you really want to jumpstart a doable, healthy, affordable movement program, my best suggestion, walk 30 minutes every day and drink 8 glasses of water every day. Those 2 things alone will bring change to you. So if you haven't walked it at all, 30 minutes, how far? As far as you can for 30 minutes. So for some of you, that may be a very slow pace, some may be moderate, some may be very intense. If you're just getting started, this is my best recommendation. Now, I really didn't talk a lot about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist, but I will say this one thing about nutrition that I've had to come to grips with since my back surgery. We are never going to out exercise our calorie intake. So I'm going to eat this, fill in the blank, whatever that thing is, and then I'll go exercise. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Athletes, yes. So in general, if your goal is weight loss, I really do encourage the 8 glasses of water. The list of benefits goes on and on and on. But one of the benefits is it will help give you a feeling of fullness. It does help in your digestion. It's going to be healthy. So there's your frugal. However, some of you have money. So let me tell you some plans. Take a look at the next screen. Another good option if you want to get started and you can afford it is to join a gym. I personally, like I told you at the very beginning, love group exercise. And that's why I love the gym. But some people love the gym because there's a lot more equipment there than you could afford to have at your house. Or there's a lot more options. So you may show up at the gym one day and I don't feel like riding the bike. I'm going to walk the track. Or I think I'm going to get in the pool today. Or I'm going to lift some weights. So being a part of a gym gives you options, but you know what else it gives you? It gives you relationships and buddies. And it often, depending on what course you choose, it gives you personnel that know what they're doing and personnel that care about you and personnel that will answer your questions, talk you through the hard day. So there are great benefits to joining a gym if you can afford it. I will say this, I am an instructor at the YMCA, and you may or may not know this, but the YMCA is a not-for-profit organization, which means we try not to turn away anybody because of finances. So don't just immediately think, well, I could never go to the YMCA. It's possible. You go in, talk with the director of your local YMCA, and they may be able to work with you and your family based on your needs, because we do take donations and we do build a community that gives to help those who can't. And let's take a look. I have a couple more ideas if you've got money. You could build your own house gym. Take a look at that next one. So if you got the space and the finances, home gyms, let me tell you what's good about them. They're convenient. You just walk downstairs or over across the hall and you are ready to work out. It kind of takes out the excuses of, well, it's raining or it's cold. So it is nice and convenient, and you can go whenever. So if your work schedule is crazy or doctor's appointments, whatever, you can still get your workout in. It's just across the hall or down in the basement. Another one is, this one is really, really good. If you have the money, I really would encourage you to get a fitness personal trainer. The reason is because they're going to customize it. They're going to hear your story. They're going to be very trained in what your medical conditions and what your personal goals are. They're going to customize that workout for you. The other thing is they stand there and watch you while you exercise. Well, the good thing about that is, I know the bad thing is like you don't want to be watched, but the good thing is it's going to increase your level of accountability, but they're able to observe your technique, your form, and tell you how to be safe and how to challenge yourself a little bit more. So another benefit is that they can work with your schedule, and preferably, it's most likely it's going to be a location. Some personal trainers will come to your home if you have the equipment. So those are your ideas for getting started. Let's take a look at the next screen. These are your examples. Now here's your next step. Pick one. Pick one. I'd like you to pick 3 because you might not like one. Variety is the spice of life. Maybe if you pick 3, you will get started and find that you actually enjoy it a lot. All right, next screen. So that's your next action step. Write down 3 you're going to try. Try to sustain it for 30 minutes. If you can't, you can't. So you may choose walking, and you may do that for 1 week, the first week. And then the second week, you may say, I'm going to try some weightlifting. Your third week, I think I want to try to find a YouTube video, do some stretching. Or you may alter that, each of those three, instead of doing it for a week, do it one day and then all in the same week. The first day you would do your cardio, in the middle day you might do a weightlifting, and the fifth day or the third day or the fifth day of the week choose to do a flexibility kind of workout. Find what you like. All righty. Hope you've had time to give that some thought. If not, at least tell yourself action step, write down 3. So we talked about the why, we talked about the how, we talked about the what. Let's talk about the wows, because you and I both know when you choose to do something, there's always going to be a moment where you don't feel like doing it anymore. Let's remember the benefits of exercise. I'm going to go quickly because there's so many in my list. There are probably more than in my list. It improves physical appearance. You lose weight. You could gain weight if that's your goal. Increase your muscle mass tone. You could look more muscular, but you could be stronger. Feel good from the chemical and physical changes in your body. Reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and other diseases. The heart is a muscle. And so the functional capacity of the heart gets stronger, and that's going to increase the amount of blood that is ejected with each beat. The functional capacity of the lungs, it increases the volume of the air inhaled and exhaled with each breath, lowers your resting heart rate. Next screen. It strengthens the walls of the blood vessels, and it provides better blood supply to the body. It increases bone density for us women. That is kind of a big concern, in particular. It helps reduce the risk of osteoporosis. We gain muscular strength and endurance. It improves the endocrine system. It helps regulate hormones and the nervous system. It's better regulates the quality of movement, and then the lymph system that protects the body from disease. It improves metabolism. Now, most of us interpret that as we can eat a few more calories, but it does improve our metabolism. It protects our body from injury and disease. We're stronger. We have the capability to prevent a fall, for example. It reduces blood pressure, blood lipids, blood sugar. We can go to the next screen. I had a participant come to me a couple of weeks ago and say, I have a problem with my bone density, and I've been taking your class now for a year. And when I went back, all my numbers were better. The doctor was so happy. I love those kind of reports. People tell me their cholesterol's down, their weight's down, their blood pressure is down, all of that. Going on with our list, reduces depression and anxiety. We sleep better. We have increased energy and productivity. We have an improved self-image. There's something about doing the right thing that just makes us feel good. And then boosted enthusiasm and optimism, lower health costs. Can I get a big amen on that one? Who would like some lower health costs just because you make fit and healthy choices? And then a shorter rehabilitation following surgery. In my water aerobics classes, I encounter a lot of people that are recovering from surgery, and their doctors are so amazed that they are, quickly coming. And so, Pam, I know I have talked a lot. Let's take a look at that last screen. I think it's the last screen. I think I squeezed them all onto one screen, and it's kind of hard to. It may be hard to see it, but there's a big old list. Can you just find 1 or 2 or 3 things on that list?
Go back up.
No, that's
Let's
it.
see.
That's it right there. That's it.
That was it. There we go. Okay.
There you go. So the final thing, what's your question? And I talked way longer than I thought I would, but I certainly welcome any question.
Pam, this was great. This was, and I love your presentation because it's just so, it's so in depth. It's for the person who I want to get started, but I don't know how. I mean, you start with the basic, why we should do what we're doing. I know for us, I think I'm in the same situation as you. We have two younger kids and we have two older ones that are at the house, but now they're getting involved and they're getting really active at school. And so we're having to, getting out the car, we got to go places, we got to do things. And so, everybody's why is different. So, finding your why or finding your purpose, then how do you get there? Just, the different types of exercises that we can do. It was just great. I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like. You kept saying that I can't eat something and then exercise those calories away. You kept re-emphasizing that, Pam. I was like, she must be talking to me. She's a mind reader. She's a prophet, because that's what I like to do. If I just eat this donut, then I can just work it off. I won't do that. I'm gonna try not to do that.
I have said it too. I just, unfortunately, between hitting 60 and having the back surgery all within a 12-month period, I really had to just face up to that reality. I've heard it for years. I was like, not me, but now I do. It is true.
Yeah, but then your recovery time is probably, like you said, a lot quicker or faster, more progressive, because you've been so fit all these years. Like you said, it really helps. So when you do have to have surgery, or you do have some kind of life altering illness or something, your body can recoup a lot faster. And I didn't think about that. Yeah. So this was great. This was awesome, Pam. I know I said, man, it's a lot of information, but this was really in depth, really appreciative. I know our viewers will appreciate it as well. For those of you, of course, hopefully you took snapshots or screenshots of your phone of the different slides so you can go back and refer to it. If not, then of course, I have a PowerPoint, feel free to email me and we can kind of share that with you. My email address is ladypam@tcowi.org. And so we can get that to you. And so Pam, thank you for this. I just want to tell our viewers just a couple of things. Guys, don't forget this Sunday, we are in person. We'll see you at 10 a.m. at C.W. Hayes School. Also, of course, our Kingdom Kids Children's Church is back up and running. So we will see you guys there. Potty trained at ages 12 years of age. Had a great start to our Kingdom Kids Church on this particular Sunday. Also, we started a new sermon series, The Families That Win. Families that win. If you want your family to win this year, listen, you need to make sure you're in the house 10 a.m. on Sunday. Also, we are virtual as well for those of you who cannot make it out. We have people who watch in other states, and so a great way to stay connected to you guys. Don't forget our prayer room call. That's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That number is 727-731-0433. And that's at 6 a.m. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. We have Debbie Snellen. She is our tax expert. So, this is the month that we're getting all of our taxes, our information together, all our receipts or whatever. And so she is going to help us get ready for that so we don't have to file any, late deadline extensions and all that good stuff. She's going to get us ready. And so we will see you guys, of course, next Wednesday at 12 noon Central Standard Time. Oh, also before that, we have a study of scriptures. We are going through the book of Jude. And so that's every Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Y'all know we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, BHAM, and of course, we're on Twitter as well. You can follow us wherever you are. Great information also for those of you who are Crown Financial. Pam thought she kind of put a little bug in there, but she talked about your budget, and that's what we're doing our Crown Financial class. We are telling our money where to go. We're talking about all sorts of stuff, investing, talking about wills, all those great key things that you need to know so that you can be successful financially. So our class is going to reconvene next Thursday. So we will not see you guys tomorrow. It'll be next next Thursday. Of course, this is the last week of particular Crown Financial series, but we're going to do it again later on this year, so because some of our schedules can align with your schedule. So awesome. Pam, thank you so much. Listen, what YMC are you at? If you can tell everybody how they can, find you, locate your class, be a part of it. Where are you? I was thinking you were still at Hoover Rec. Oh, I can't hear you, Pam. Sorry.
I got it now. I
No.
sorry about that. I teach at the Hoover YMCA. I still am at the Hoover Rec. But yeah, I started teaching at the YMCA when we opened about 12, 13 years ago.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So there you have it, guys. Is how you can find her. So you can ask her more questions and join her class. She's really great at what she does. And so thank you, everyone, for joining us here on today. Thank you, Pam, for volunteering your time. And thank you so much for all this great information that you have shared with us. Listen, guys, take it all in. Make sure you share it with someone and be blessed. Have a great rest of your Wednesday and rest of your week. We love y'all. And until next time, thank you, Pam.